Happy Friday. I hope you're all having a wonderful one. This week, we are going to talk about the new show on Netflix called Cheer. I had heard people talking about it online, and I was like, maybe I'll watch, maybe I won't. What is it about? Trying to figure it all out. But this show is absolutely worth the binge watch. Like, not even kidding you. Even if you're not a cheerleader or you've never done anything like that in your life, I would still recommend to watch it. I actually did like cheerleading when I was little, maybe about the age of 9 to about, 12, 13. I did cheerleading myself. And I wasn't exactly one of the like competitive cheerleaders. It was more for like the Little League Football League cheerleading. So I never did competition. And I always loved it. It was fun, and I was a cheerleader in high school as well. And that was a good time. And I learned a lot more about the competitive side of cheerleading actually once I got to high school. And I only did cheerleading for 1 year. And then I went to the dance team because I was just in love with dance. It wasn't until high school where I really discovered that cheerleading is tough. It is not, rah, rah, rah. Go team, go! I don't think so. These girls are doing basket toss in the air, flipping and turning and doing all kinds of things and doing overexertion to the body, but they do it all for the love of getting that title. They do work really, really hard. I still don't understand how cheerleading is not an Olympic sport. Now, hear me out. Before y'all start saying anything about that, okay? Cheerleading is hard, okay? The things that we did, I would say back in the early 2000s when I was doing stuff, to me was tough. But these girls are like cheerleaders on steroids. Like they really do some insane stunts to the point where I'm looking like these girls, you have to be psycho. And I mean that in the best way, but you really do have to be psycho to do half of the stunts these girls are doing. There's no way you can be in your right mind and do those kind of stunts. And baby, if I could do the stand-up slow clap, that's what I would do, because this show showed me what it is to really be a cheerleader. Not that stuff we see on the sidelines of the NFL games, not little league cheerleading, like little cute stuff. Like anybody that does competitive cheerleading from the little tykes on up, I commend you, because I had no idea it was that insane. So we follow this cheerleading squad basically that are national champions or world champions that have won multiple titles. And I can tell you, I've gone to some competitions before. I've done competitions with dance and cheerleading, and I can tell you how hard it is to win one national title. But they have 7, something like that. They have a lot of titles, and they were winning for a minute back to back to back. You have to be some kind of good to win back-to-back championships like that. It just doesn't happen. And everybody knows, I've known about Daytona since Bring It On back in the day when they made what I call a parody. I would call Bring It On. Bring It On is one of my favorite movies, by the way. But it is somewhat a parody of what the cheerleading world and competition is like. They do show some real stuff where I'm like, oh my God, that would so happen at competition. Oh my God, that would so happen at competition. Like there's some parts where I was like, yeah, they definitely nailed it. But for the most part, it's kind of like, it's a parody. Inform you on the reasonings why the national championships are not televised anymore like they used to be. But I remember growing up watching those competitions and seeing how important these competitions were to the girls. And I gotta tell you, them running to the ocean, that is something that is a real thing. That is, all of that stuff is true. And I mean, breaking bones, breaking fingers, dislocating elbows, like they did some crazy stunts And kudos to the coach. She is a pistol in the best way. But I always say the most successful people are firecrackers, and you have to be. In order to be successful and to maintain that success and to be on top, you have got to be a firecracker. You're not gonna make it if you want them little snap cracker pops. If you pop on the ground, no, you have got to be a black cat firework in the sky and explode in order to be on top. And that is what that woman is. She is a 4th of July firework, not a snap crackle pop firework. Girls, I think, do an amazing job. It shows their stories. That is something I kind of learned, is that not all these cheerleaders come from rich backgrounds. You know, I always assumed most cheerleaders I knew back in the day, they all came from rich families. But this tells you the stories behind how these girls, how cheerleading saved their life, some of them, how cheerleading kept them out of trouble. Some of them came from some really horrible and tragic backgrounds, and they came out successful through cheerleading, through this squad in little Corsicana. I know where that is. I'm from Texas, so I know exactly where that little town is, but I had no idea about that squad. One thing I got out of watching this show is their hard work, dedication, determination to get the title that they wanted. And so I was literally on the edge of my seat watching this, watching them week to week, you know, try to nail every stunt, try to literally stick every period, just everything that they were doing. It pulls you in. It makes you feel like you're on the squad as well. It makes you feel like, you know, like next thing I know, I'm like, oh my God, stick it. Oh my God. Like, you know the girls, you know everything about them, and you just get sucked into their world too. And I guess that's what TV does to you. And seeing the alumni come back and seeing the fire in their eyes, like, you know, I'll tell you this, nothing is like being on a team and then going back years later and looking at that team. Literally, it makes you wish that you were back on that field again. Like, there's nothing like, if you've never been a part of a team, I don't know how to explain it to you, but if you've been a part of a team, you know what that feels like. To be like, God, I remember when I used to do that. I remember the feeling I got out there and the adrenaline rush that happened to me when I'd be out on that field. I literally cried my eyeballs out at the last episode. Let's just say that. Like, I was on the floor crying with them when they were doing this routine the first time at Daytona, and their guy gets injured. I was like, no, like really just like, no. And so they get opportunity to go and do the routine again, and they nail it. They killed it. Them take that trophy and run into the water like they did. I'm not kidding you. I was like ugly crying. I was ugly crying because I felt that. Like, I felt what they were feeling. I felt every bit of the excitement and all their hard work, and just seeing them go through that together as a team was pretty awesome to watch them win like that. So make sure that you check out Cheer on Netflix. If you were a cheerleader in your former life, or if you were a cheerleader of any kind, make sure to send a picture. That's what I want to see. Either tell me you were a cheerleader and what squad you were on, or just post a picture down below of you in your cheerleading uniform. I would like to see a lot of photos. Hopefully I can see a lot of photos. Is it for today's Friday, and I will see you all next week. Have a good weekend.